I'm Michelle with 2 L's.
And I'm Natalie the Red.
And we are Forcify Entertainment. And today we're here for a review, kind of our reactionary thoughts to the new Joaquin Phoenix movie, Todd Phillips movie, Joker, Folie à Deux, also just known as Joker 2. We just saw Joker 2. We just got out of the theater. I want to say this before we get started. I want to say that I really enjoyed back in 2019 when Joker came out. I was there opening night. I thoroughly loved the movie.
Loved it. Me too.
I thought it was special. I thought he definitely deserved to win Best Actor. He was incredible.
I was rooting for him, and I rarely do that for these things.
It was a good movie. So then when they announced the sequel, that was inevitable because the movie made over $1 billion and at the time was the highest rated R-rated movie. I mean, made the most for an R-rated movie of any movie at that point. You knew we were going to get an unnecessary sequel. And I just thought, you know what? I enjoyed this movie so well. I'm going to trust Todd Phillips and this team that if they do this sequel, they're going to do something good.
Right.
Then we get the announcement of Harley Quinn, and then we get the announcement of the musical. And it was at which point I went on every channel I was on, I would say this. This movie is either going to be a total artful masterpiece or it's going to be a dumpster fire. Well, I'm here to tell you, I will give you our initial thoughts, what we liked and disliked, and we'll rate the movie.
We'll get into which we thought it was.
But my initial thoughts is the dumpster fire it is.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Natalie, what are your initial thoughts for Joker 2?
Okay, my initial thoughts, I'll try and keep it brief.
I mean, it is thoughts.
Just thoughts. But yeah, it was a bit of a letdown because I was actually very excited for this movie. And kind of like she said, I actually am. I think Lady Gaga is very talented. I thought they could have crushed it. This could have been maybe unnecessary.
But good.
But it could have been good. And like you said, a really cool, different, artistic take on, Joker and Harley in this world that they're in. And I just think it missed the mark somewhere along the way.
Definitely. Okay, so that's initial
or
thoughts.
Many marks, perhaps.
There were a lot of marks missed. So let's get into what I liked about this movie. Okay, I can say the positives I can say about this movie. I enjoyed the cinematography. It was very pretty. It was a very pretty movie. I mean, yes, the colors are drab, but it was super. The visuals were stunning at times.
And some of the camera work. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's part of cinematography.
Well, or even
just the angles. But yeah, it did. A lot of it did have a very good look, or the lighting in some of the musical sequences, or and they make it a little more glamorous for Joker.
Well, and there are some shots even. I mean, he just gets such cool shots.
Yeah.
There's super stunning cinematography and shots in this movie. The camera work is great. All that's great. Joaquin Phoenix is great. I mean, what a masterful actor. He is fantastic doing this version of Arthur Fleck and Joker.
And Arthur Fleck, I'm not going to take away from the fact he did make me smile several times throughout this movie. He did, because he is a wonderful actor. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker, so I did enjoy that aspect of it. At times it was just kind of, it's not his fault that the plot wasn't a bit better.
Okay. So with that, is there anything else you like? Lady Gaga's fine. She's fine.
She's
okay.
She's fine. I didn't find the musical sequences.
No.
And I know you guys were not looking forward to those, period, point blank.
And we understand.
But I do love musicals and things like that. But I was
just not in a Joker movie.
Just maybe not in a Joker movie. And I wasn't jazzed about this.
Okay, so moving into what we did not like. Prepare yourselves. This is going to be a little longer segment.
I just did that, but we'll do some more.
We're going to keep going. We were in likes actually back then. Now we're to dislikes. This movie doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't know what it wants to be, I don't think.
Like it is, what, when, where, why.
This is the definition of an unnecessary sequel. There was no point to this movie. This Joker would have been way better served to have never been touched after the awesome movie that came out in 2019. This movie, I mean, okay, there would be moments where I was like, oh, I can kind of start to feel and vibe with this movie.
Yeah.
But then a musical number would come. And guys, the music numbers keep on coming.
Yeah.
And they come out of nowhere. And once it's there, it's going to be 2 to 3 minutes. and you're just like, can this please end? And I'm someone, I love musicals, but musical and Joker don't mix.
And I will say too, and I don't know if you noticed this, even from I think kind of the beginning of the movie, and this isn't a spoiler or anything, but
there won't be any spoilers. In fact, I want to say that I should have said that at the beginning. We are going to give a spoiler, much more in-depth discussion of this movie this coming Monday on our live stream at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you there.
We'll get into the
details. We'll go in the spoilers there, but continue, Natalie.
But it's just like sometimes they would spend, you're following him down the hall, let's say, and it's cool to get a shot and see the world stuff, but sometimes it felt like little thing, it would just go on and on and on.
Yes.
Like a little unnecessary of the same mundane scene kind of thing.
Yes. And I guess you could say maybe like a Nolan did that in Oppenheimer, but it just works in Oppenheimer. It didn't always work here. And like we said, we still appreciated that initial shot, but then you just kept dragging it out.
Right.
And what you're really getting at there is this movie drags.
It does.
Like there is a point that, like, there were points I would kind of get into it, then a musical number would take me out, and then there was a point I was like, good Lord, can this movie end? Like, this is boring. Like, I'm in a courtroom in a Joker movie, and here's another. The first movie did such a good job of building tension throughout, and then there's like a release at the end.
Yes.
You feel that way.
It is an experience.
It is. And in this movie, there were slight moments that with the music, I like the score. The score was good, but the score was more haunting than this movie.
Right.
And there were just moments that this movie should have been able to build an atmospheric, like horror type situation where you felt you felt like this guy's going to lose it at any second and everyone could be in danger. And you just didn't feel that way really.
Right.
Like they just didn't. They didn't maximize even what they could have done in the story. And then you're just left in a boring courtroom.
Whereas I thought the first one, not only was it so good and well acted, but it was one of those movies that I thought about it for days after. Sometimes I still think about it, honestly. I mean, it's really that good to me, so it's like, I didn't expect it to be that, but I didn't expect it to be this. And this is where we find ourselves.
And here's another example of what I'm saying, guys. I mean, I don't think we need as much time in the court as we got in this movie. But if you go back to, say, Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker, that movie, the pinnacle of that movie leads up to an action scene? No. It leads up to Batman and Joker having a conversation at the Gotham PD. And my point is do you get what I'm saying? Even the courtroom scenes did it like mesmerize you.
Right, because I know the scene you're talking about, because I remember it because of the intensity. That the scene brings, and the soundtrack and the music and that thing, the way they do it. So it definitely left an impression to where I remember that very well.
And it's just talking. But this movie can't even do talking in a suspenseful, rememberful way. And I think they could have. It just did it. But even at that point, now I'm just going to nitpick even in that.
It's like there were a lot of ideas.
There were so many ideas. They were just flung everywhere. And instead of having like one solid story, I think this is such a case where you have great cinematography, an amazing lead actor, but the plot is so thin, there's just nothing to work with. This movie is a total example of style over substance.
Right.
There's so much style and flair,
and I love style,
but there's no substance. There's nothing for you. There's nothing for you to emotionally care about, really, or even if you do start to care or feel for a second, then they rip it away from you, and you're like, "What is this again?"
Yes.
It just didn't work. Like we said all that to say.
That's the movie as a whole, you guys. It just didn't work.
The movie
it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It is. Because I was so excited.
I even was optimistic from the trailers that they could somehow pull off this crazy idea, but the story just was not there. And without saying it, I really did kind of hate the end. I'm not spoiling anything right now.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like the end. The movie does not go where it should have gone. But even the way they went, it just wasn't a good end. And it just kind of felt like they did. I don't know. It just, we'll get into this more on Monday. Come back for Force of Light Live Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more thoughts.
We'll think more about it.
We'll go deeper.
More into
to
it.
go deeper.
Spoilers.
But Natalie, is there anything else you dislike before we move into rating, or you kind of good for rating?
I think I got it. I think I pretty much got it out there.
So, Natalie, what do you give Joker Filet Do out of 5 hoots? 5 being the max level of enjoyment watching a movie. What do you give this movie?
I'm gonna give it just a cool 2.5. Honestly,
I do my face like that because, guys, I was gonna say 2.5. This is a 2.5.
We're too synced up sometimes.
It's a 2.5. It's not
specific.
And those of you who watch this channel know I don't go below 3 tons. But man, this is a 2.5.
But we gave it that half.
And the half is for like Joaquin Phoenix and you know, his role. He's very good. He gave it his all. You know, you just can only do so much with no script.
With that, yeah. With no script.
So that's what it is. A 2.5 for Joker 2. Do we recommend you paying to see this movie? I really can't say I do. I can't say that I do.
I really don't. Movie tickets are expensive.
They're expensive,
you know,
and you know, times are hard. So
times are tough.
I can't recommend it. I recommend seeing something else. There's other good movies.
There are.
Go see something else. But yeah, that's our thoughts. Again, we will give deeper thoughts on our live stream on Monday. So definitely come back for more and join that conversation. But what do you guys think? Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it? Have we scared you from seeing it? Share your thoughts below. And if you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be a force of light. All right. Bye, guys.